How about a story time? I'll set the scene. It's 2022. I'm outside. I'm ripping and running. I'm traveling. I'm in Las Vegas, California, Florida, Ohio, Indiana. Like, I'm shaking and moving. I'm going to events, having a ball. I'm surrounded by people who I consider my friends. I'm I've got multiple girlfriends. I'm polyamorous. That can be a conversation for another time. I'm starting to make a name for myself in the adult industry world. My name is starting to bubble, and I'm living, man. I'm out having fun. I go to an event in August of 22, and from the moment I got to that event up until Sunday, I was either drunk or high off of edibles. And it was to the point where I couldn't leave my room to go down to the events unless I was high or drunk or a mix of both. But it was like my anxiety was so bad that that's what I needed to like even just function and feel like I could be at these parties. And it was so crazy because for some reason the theme that summer was people kept coming up to me and just saying, oh my God, like your light, your energy, you shine so bright, your light, your energy. But I remember at this specific event, this one woman came up to me and was just like, you were just like, you're special, your energy is just so bright, like there's something about you. And I remember looking at her, and I'm intoxicated, but it almost made me want to cry because I'm hearing her say this, but in my head I'm like, I don't see what you see. And it was like a mind fuck because I kept being told, your energy, your light, just who you are, your energy, your light, who you are. And that whole year, I was struggling. I was struggling to the point where when I was at home, I would lay in bed and just think about all the ways I could just end it. And it was to the point where I was like, I don't think anybody would miss me. I didn't want to traumatize my people. I didn't want to have one of my partners find me, but I also didn't want to traumatize somebody who had nothing to do with my life. And it was just a thing of like, I was at that point of, I was just ready to go. And it wasn't something that just happened overnight. It was something gradual, because I remember when me and my current girlfriend first got together and she was explaining to me her struggles with being bipolar and how it works for her and all of that. And I remember she made a statement and she said, for as long as she could remember, she had suicidal thoughts. And that was just so like mind-blowing to me at that time. I'm in my like mid-20s. It was so mind-blowing because I, at that time, had never thought like that. Like I had never had a thought about not being here anymore. And then you fast forward to 2022 and I'm ready to go. Like, I'm going through the motions and I'm trying my best to just find the silver lining in all of this. But like, I'm struggling. For context, my grandma, who was like my rock, but also kind of like my last family member that like, I guess gave me like a sense of family, she died in May of 2020. I didn't even know how to begin processing the grief for that. And I just kind of like stuffed it down. I was going through issues with my children. And in 2021, due to like unfortunate circumstances, all three of them stopped coming over on the designated weekends when I was supposed to have them. And that kind of like rocked me, because for the first time in a long time, like, I didn't have them, but also I wasn't taking care of somebody else. And it was just like I was alone, left to my own devices, and didn't know what to do with myself. I was struggling with the like relationship me and my mom have like had my whole life, and grieving the idea of her being the mom that like I see my friends have, or like that like loves and cares about you in like a motherly way. I was grieving that. I was feeling like I couldn't be myself. I felt stifled. I felt smothered. Like I felt like a failure. It was just like all of these things just compounded of like years of just feeling hurt, unseen, not heard, like being there for everybody else, but nobody being there for me when I needed it. Like, it was just all of these things. And it just got to a point to where I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I remember my birthday that year, I was with two of my partners, and we did like a hangout, and I did some psychedelics, and I cried so much. And I kind of started to like say, I don't want to be here anymore. But like, I was scared to say it. And then my current girlfriend, thank God for her, since she is privy to just how this works, she was able to talk me through things. And recently, actually, she had stated that like, she asked me, I guess, the questions of, I guess, how people gauge how bad the suicidal ideations are. She asked me those questions, but it was at that time where she didn't make me feel crazy for saying, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I think about, like, ending it. And it was like a slow process, but from that point on, I started to get to a place where I could finally say out loud, like, I'm having suicidal ideations and I don't want to be here anymore, and not feel crazy about it. And I will give props to one of my exes, because we sat on my couch and I cried and boo-hooed and said out loud, like, I'm suicidal. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. And she helped me find, it was a psychiatrist, but they worked through like a facility. And then I also got back into therapy because I was taking a break just due to life and circumstances. And I started to take back my life, or reclaim my life. And it was a slow process, but it started with changing one little thing, and then working on changing another little thing, and another little thing, and another little thing, until it became bigger thing. And I also had to stop getting mad at what I couldn't control. I had to just let things be. I had to also just appreciate the little things about waking up every day. Like going outside and just seeing nature. I love animals, so like getting to be close to animals. I was trying really hard to figure out ways I could rebuild my relationship with my kids, and I did what I could with that. I tried with my mom, and I had to chalk that up as a loss, just because it got to a place where like I could see there was no way for us to have a healthy relationship just because of the way things were. And I also had to let go of a lot of people who I could show up for them, but when it came down to it, they didn't show up for me, or the grace I gave for them, they wouldn't give it for me. So like, a lot of people ended up leaving my life, sadly. And while it's lonely, it's a thing of, I'm not necessarily dealing with one-sided relationships anymore. With it being Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I just wanted to share my own personal story with my struggles with mental health. I know that men they have the highest rate of suicide, and I feel like all too often we hear about the story when it's too late. So I just wanted to share mine. And to the fellas watching this video, you matter. Yeah, you matter. Like, you as a human being, you matter. To you watching this video, I appreciate your time and listening and making it this far. Hug, you know, hug your dad, your brother, your cousins, your best friend, your gay friend, whatever. Just, hug them, let them know you're here, you care, you see them, and that they matter. As always, like and subscribe, drop a comment, and until the next video, I'll see you there. Cause everybody